Hello, and welcome to another official Tribal Wars video tutorial. I'm Marshy from the international community, and in this video I'm going to be covering how to find a tribe and why it's so important. When you first start the game, there is a pretty big learning curve you have to get through, and the best way to get through this is by having a tribe to help you out. You can always create your own tribe, but this isn't really recommended until you have a fair amount of experience on the game. Oftentimes, there are two main ways to get yourself into a tribe. The first way is by simply applying to a tribe. You can do this by selecting Tribe, and then scroll down to where you can see Apply next to the tribe names. You can also click a tribe profile, and typically there will be a name on the profile for you to contact, just as you can see in this one here. However, if that's not the case, you can also message anyone in the tribe, just requesting a point of contact for recruitment. Make sure to write a formal application. Things to include would be your experience in Tribal Wars, willingness to learn, and how you can be an asset to the tribe. Tribe sizes are limited, so it can be hard to find a tribe, but keep applying and hopefully you will find something as soon as possible. As always, be sure to be polite when mailing other players. Now let's take a look at two examples I have come up with for applications to see what a good and bad application looks like. First, we have the bad application. Hi, can I join your tribes? I'm good, trust me. So as you can see, there's no information about the skill level or experience or activity or anything of that sort. So let's take a look at the good application. To whom it may concern. Hello, my name is Brent, and I'm looking for an active tribe to join when I stumbled upon yours. I noticed your tribe is growing heavily in my area, and I feel as though I would be a great asset to the team. I'm relatively new to Tribal Wars, but so far I've been very active and really enjoying it. I'm more than willing to learn everything I can to do my best working alongside of all of you. I look forward to reading your response. Thanks. So as you can see in this message, we're being very polite. We're being honest about what our experience as well as our intent. And we're also showing the value that we can bring to the tribe, which would be our activity and our willingness to learn, because sometimes that can be more important than anything. As you can see, one was written with some thought. We were being honest, and it really shows that we want to be a part of their tribe and pull our own weight. The other one, not so much. The best way I like to think of my applications is by reading what I wrote in the perspective of the person reading the application and critique it accordingly. The second way people often find themselves in tribes is by joining friends of friends. Think of applying to a job that you already have a friend working at. It's oftentimes much easier to get hired because your friend can put in a good word for you, right? Tribal Wars is no different. It's a good idea to start talking to local players and making friends. Randomly mailing players is very common in Tribal Wars, and many players actually expect that it will happen. Keep in mind though, that you are trying to make friends and not annoy players, which could actually put a target on your village. Also, be cautious what you tell players, as you never know who knows who. These players that you get to know certainly help you network yourself and maybe even help you find yourself in a slot of a good tribe. Finding a tribe is so important, not only due to the fact that you now have a team to conquer the area with, but also a team of players that can send support to each other, allowing you to change the tides of a battle. A lot of times in the tribes, you'll have a mix of experience between players, and oftentimes there are longtime players who are willing to help their fellow tribe members get better at the game and learn a few things. There are often guides posted in the tribe forums by other players, and you can have an entire group of players that you can now talk to, get to know, and hopefully learn a thing or two from. Now that you know how to find tribes and what they can do for you, I wish you the best and luck getting into a good one. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.